Hello and welcome back to somebody on the Wrestling Debate and to another edition of AEW Rampage Out of 10. To be honest, there's not a huge amount of advertising for this show. We've got some decent matches like Keith Lee versus Matt Caster, Darby Allin on the card. But yeah, no match on the card that really sticks out and go must watch. But let's see how the show goes. Starting off with Darby Allin versus the Butcher. The match started with Allin unleashing a series of punches on him, but the AFO member quickly retaliated back thanks to the size advantage. The former TNT champion then began playing mind games with the Butcher and hit a picture-perfect suicide dive to take control. The action then spilled outside and the veteran performer had a face-off with Sting on the outside. Back on the show after break, the Butcher continued to assault Allin as he locked in the submission manoeuvre. Allin finally found the opening and the Butcher was hit with steel stairs. Following this, Darby Allin delivered a beautiful coffin drop and picked up the win just in time as the Butcher got cancelled out. Post-match, Private Party attacked Allin and Sting with Andrade, the Blade and the Bunny also entering the squared circle. However, the Hardy Boys came out to rescue Sting and Allin. Matt Hardy laid down the challenge for an 8-man Texas Tornado tag team match against the AFO on Dynamite, and yeah, that's what it's all been leading to. Happy with finally getting there. So yeah, this gets 6 out of 10 overall for me. Backstage, Scorpio Sky boasted about beating Wardlow. At the same time, Paige Van Zandt claimed the company that she was the best in her irrespective of gender before Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet was up next. Hirsch attacked Velvet on the entrance ramp, however Red Velvet retaliated and hit a German suplex. Once the match began, Hirsch quickly gained control and began wearing down her opponent. Back from the break, Velvet finally found an opening in the match and unleashed a flurry of offense on her. However, Layla Hirsch recovered and locked in a Velvet in a cross-leg arm breaker, but the latter managed to break the submission by reaching a ropes. Just when Hirsch pulled out a weapon to attack Velvet, Chris Statlander came out distracted, so this allowed Velvet to capitalise as she pinned her opponent, hitting a corkscrew for the victory. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Decent match for me. I personally would have preferred Hirsch to get the win, but it's still a decent match, and Velvet winning does make a bit of sense, so yeah, 6 out of 10. House of Black versus Bear Country and Fuego del Sol was up next. Bronson Black started things off with the latter using his speed to defice of the performer. The former North American champion then took down all three of his House of Black opponents single-handedly. Buddy Matthews then unleashed a flurry of strikes on Bronson. Next, Brody King came down and took Del Sol out with a brutal punch. The House of Black then began attacking the Bear Boulder. Fuego del Sol then hit some aerial manoeuvres on Black, King and Matthews, but it wasn't just enough as the former Cruiserweight champion hit his finisher out of nowhere to secure the victory. This gets a 5 out of 10 from me. To be honest, I really wasn't feeling this match. It just kind of felt a bit all thrown together. And I wasn't a huge fan. Before we got Keith Lee versus Max Caster. Bask in his glory was a chant. Though Caster attacked the Limitless One with an uppercut and a dropkick, it still wasn't enough to bring his opponent down. The former NXT champ was distracted by Powerhouse Hobbs, allowing Max Caster to get an opening. Back from the commercial break, Caster was in the driver's seat as Hobbs and Starks looked on from commentary. However, Keith Lee then retaliated by using his size advantage to manhandle Caster. Despite a couple of super kick attempts, the Acclaim member, Keith Lee easily took him down with a big bang catastrophe. Post-match, Hobbs and Lee finally came to blow with Starks, Caster and Bowens getting in. However, Shane Strickland came out to save and Strickland and Lee shared a handshake to tease an unlikely alliance to show we're off the air. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing this at all. But yeah, overall segment gets 6 out of 10. It was okay, but it wasn't really anything too great. Overall this week, Rampage gets a 5 out of 10 from me. To be honest, this was probably one of the weakest Rampages in history, in my opinion. The show was constantly okay, but it was just really okay. There was nothing really special in it, nothing that made me wow. It's just a kind of a bit of a dull episode of Rampage, to be honest. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. For like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow us with the description for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel on screen, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.